What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Becoming Reborn podcast. I just had Charlie's chicken Charlie's.
Charlie's.
It was fantastic.
Well done.
We just played a great game of bowling.
Yeah.
I'm really a bit tired, guys. I apologize. It took a lot out of me.
I got a funny feeling though. Sometimes when we start talking, it energizes you.
It does. It's a little bit like bowling just then. I was a bit tired before that, but once we got started, can you tell them the rules, Pat?
Yeah, the rules were we had to partner up.
Yeah.
It was our team bonding session at Reborn. Once a month, we have a team bonding session. Everyone had to partner up, and then you and your partner, your scores get combined, and whichever pair had the lowest score, they had to find their own way home. You're not allowed to have a phone. You're not allowed to have a wallet. You can run home. You can hitchhike. You can steal a bike. I don't care, but you can't like get an Uber, and you had to figure it out. And the unfortunate thing is we had an odd number. So someone had to go on their own and their score gets doubled. And that person was Kai Beckett. And it came down to the last bowl and Kai came last. And you were the last to see him? Was he?
Yeah, he's just walking. He was just walking in when we came. So, but
well done, Kai. Great rule though.
Great rule. It was so good. But
lifted the energy.
Let's talk about Biz.
Yeah.
So Biz was having a rough day before.
Didn't like bowling. Didn't like the rules. Didn't really want to be a part of it.
But it was her like she was a part of it until she started losing. But she brought it home.
She came home strong with a spare and a strike at the end.
Spare and a strike, and the crowd erupted. Everyone was very excited for
except
her.
Kai.
Except Kai.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's one of the things that I'm actually happy about. But we'll get into that second.
Fantastic.
Patrick, what's our topic today?
We're going to talk about gratitude and being grateful. Travis, I'm going to throw straight to you right now. What are you grateful for today?
The team. And I know that sounds real cheesy and cliche, but it was like genuinely exciting to go to bowling today. Like everyone was excited all week and everyone was like pumped about it. Like Biz wasn't that pumped about it when we got started. Like Breaky thought he was going to be amazing, but he was horrible as per usual when it comes to sport. I don't know what's wrong with that kid. He thinks he's really good at everything, but he's really unco at everything.
Agreed.
But energy, always phenomenal. Always great.
Can't fault that.
Cannot fault that.
He's all effort.
I love that from him. But everyone was pumped and like it's so nice to be in a team. Now, we had a moment, Pat, and I'm sure you remember it. There was a guy that came up to us when we were bowling and he said, "What are you guys doing here? It's in the middle of the day." He didn't know what day it was, but he's like, it's a Thursday or Friday. It's Thursday, by the way. And he was like, "You guys look like you're having the best time ever."
And we were.
Because Pat had another rule that if you got a strike or a spare, it dwindled towards the back end to just a strike. But if you strike or spare, you had to do a celebration. And it was
the cheesier, the better.
Thank you. And Pat, you are the king of cheese.
Yeah.
You were hilarious. I hope Bizza got a lot of yours on
Except
camera.
the last one. I might need to beep out some of the words. I got really into it.
What was the last one?
That's okay.
You know what? But I loved seeing the team camaraderie.
Yes.
You know, like even though you and I are on different teams, like we had each other's backs.
Getting right around each
other. We
other.
were like,
and at the start it's a piss take, but then it's actually genuine. I want to see the boys do well. And the girls.
Getting sweaty from the celebrations. I was with Anthony and like I was riding his ball.
Oh yeah. Nah, play on.
Balls. I was riding his balls. That sounds horrible. But you guys can let your imagination go with that one. But it was fantastic. So I'm really grateful for the team. I'm grateful to be a part of a team that is excited to be around each other. Like we're all so motivated just in general life. It's not just not a reborn thing, like a business thing. It's like everyone's just like excited to perform in their life. And it's very rare that you can be around like one or two individuals, but to have a whole team around you, I'm very, very grateful for that.
Well done. I'm grateful for you, Travis Gregory Young.
Oh,
it is easy to forget or brush over, but you have built a business and an environment that I get to work in and genuinely am excited for it every single day. So I'm grateful for you and what you've built to allow me to be very happy in my life.
It's so fun, right? Like
it really is.
We were just at work.
Yeah.
That was work.
Wild. And don't get me wrong, there's some shit moments, but
we've had some rough ones. We've had a rough 3 weeks.
Yeah, we have. We don't need to dig into that now.
No,
we're talking about gratefulness.
I think we will end up doing like podcasts on that, all that kind of stuff, but probably too soon at the moment. It's a great environment that we've got. We're very fortunate, Patrick. A lot of people don't have the team or the environment that we have, that we get to turn up for every day. Even looking across that farm over there, like he's out there. You ran a half marathon this morning, didn't you, G?
Whatever.
That's my boy, bro. You know what I mean? Like just a casual Thursday halvey too for the lad. And a little something after a bit of food. That's my boy. Anyways, Patrick, take it away.
So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is when you kind of zoom out and have a look at it, we are right now, 2026, undoubtedly living in, even if you watch the news, you can still agree with this. We're living in the best time in human history, in that we have a lot of luxuries. Our lives are incredibly good. There's a lot of comfort. It's very easy to forget that, like, it was 2 generations ago, like when our grandparents were born, there was no such thing as a hot shower. Like everyone, if they ever had to bathe, you're having a cold shower or a cold bath. That's just it. And it's amazing how quickly we get used to the comforts that we've currently got. Yeah. Now, if you choose to have a cold shower, you're a lunatic. It's easy to forget, like it wasn't that long ago that 50% of children died before they were 10 years old. Like that's just what happened. That's why people had like 10 kids, because there was the medical science wasn't advanced enough that we could save kids, and kids died of diseases all the time.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Like, and it wasn't that long ago that people were having a fight and scrounge for food every single day. What I'm getting at is we are very comfortable. We live very well right now. It's the best time on the planet in history. Yet, subjectively, we've never been unhappier. Yeah. Makes no sense. We should be the happiest we ever are because we've got it the best, but we are the unhappiest we've ever been. Suicide rates have never been as high as they are right now. Even when 300 years ago, like, you had a lot to be pretty pissed off about, but we're unhappier right now.
Do you think that is like largely to do with social media and like
I think it's a contributing factor.
And then the comparison is the thief of joy. You know, that how people look at Instagram and they see everyone's highlight reels and like, oh, he's my age. He's doing all these other things that are better than me.
He looks like this.
Yeah. Why am I doing that?
Absolutely. That's comparison. Horrible. Whereas back 300 years ago, you only really knew the people that were in your village, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of why I wanted to speak about this, because not that this is something that's going to solve all the world's problems, but you need to be grateful for what you've got. Why else do you think we've got it so good, yet we are so unhappy?
I think a lot of people lack purpose. Like they don't have that genuine like purpose around their life. And again, falling back on you and I, like we love what we do. Like, and we take great pride in the purpose that we provide every day towards our members. So when people lack that purpose, that's when there's no drive and you lose that motivation, which I know is a very fickle word, but that's what people they lean on too much, is the motivation. But I think when you don't have purpose, when you're not doing something that you're passionate about, your life tends to just kind of, you know, flow with the wind, and then it just becomes like, meh. I think lack of purpose is probably the next thing after social media.
I completely agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about this, by the way, guys.
Pat we're just winging it.
Yeah, he just tells me what we're talking about. So what did you have that written down as well, purpose?
I didn't have it written down, but geez, you make a compelling argument. Can't argue with any of that. No, I just wanted to ask you the question then.
What do you think it is?
No, I absolutely. I've read somewhere that sometimes the more you've got, the more like, or the less happy you feel, as strange as that sounds. So,
Resilience Project.
Yes, that's a book I'm leaning on here. Back when, like, there was a proper fight for survival every day, you had to go out and feed your family. Otherwise, if you've got a wife and kids, they're dead, right? You don't have time. Like, and there's always like something to blame. Like if you're in a bad situation, it could be like there's always something wrong, that it's that thing's fault. Whereas right now, when there's nothing wrong, it's, if your life isn't in the position that you want it to be, it's your fault. You've got nothing else to blame. And that can sometimes make people look inward and kind of go, shit, it's on me.
Yeah, that's true.
That hurts. You've got no one else to blame but yourself, which is a powerful position because it's good because you can change, you can go anywhere you want in your life. It can be an absolute positive, but it can also double-edged sword. It can be a negative.
Yeah, because there's two ways to look at that, right? It's like the ultimate accountability. It's like, well, yes, this is just on me. Or it's like, oh, shit.
It's no one else's fault but mine.
Like, there's that two ways to look at it. But I take great pride in, like, having that control of my life, saying, like, it's up to me. Like, it excites me that, like, if I want this, then I have the power to be able to achieve it.
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to dig down a bit into what is gratitude and also what gratitude isn't, because gratitude gets overused a lot. And I want to start by saying gratitude isn't just pretending everything is perfect in life, because it's not. But it's about focusing on the positives, not just the negatives. You did mention social media before, Trav, where if you get a new car, you absolutely love your car, and then your next door neighbor gets a new car, it's 10 grand more expensive than yours, all of a sudden your car's shit. Yet you look at your car hasn't changed. The feelings you had about it were great. I look at it with the iPhone, right? You could have right now the best iPhone that has ever come out, right? Probably one of the best pieces of technology humans have ever created in their life. Next year, a new iPhone comes out, someone else gets it. How do you feel about your current phone?
Normally comes out too.
Yeah, because you're the guy that gets it. How do you feel about your phone once someone else gets a new one? You feel shit. You feel like you got something shit. Like, I remember when the iPhones first came out and it was like technology blew everyone away. If you held an iPhone from when they'd first come out in your hand right now, you would laugh at it and throw it out because it's a piece of shit.
They're like 300 times more powerful than the first ever computer or something like that. Like something wild.
There's more technology in this right now.
That's right. Than
what got us to the moon in 1969.
That's it. That's the one. It was heaps better.
Wild. So, like, it's not about pretending life is perfect, but it's about, like, awareness and perspective. Like, right now, I think this thing is unbelievable. I think the car I drive is unbelievable. I know there's heaps better out there, but I don't care because I'm focusing on what I've got, not what other people have, or not what I don't have.
I think you just nailed it in that one sentence and focusing on what you've got and not what others have.
Or not what you don't have. Yeah.
Because
I've got a line. I'm going to read this one so I don't butcher it. Yeah. Gratitude isn't about chasing everything you want in your life. It's about realizing you've already got it.
Oof.
Yeah. Now, Travis, when was a time that you can think of when you actually truly felt grateful? Like, if there was a moment, if you want a minute or two to think of that.
No. It happened this week.
Oh, let's go.
So Chloe was going to the dentist with Ace, and she had to pick up Ace a little bit early from school, and Mimi was at home, but going to be by herself unless I came home. I still had work to do. So I was like, I'll come get Mimi. This is 2 days ago. And I said, I'll come get Mimi and I'll bring her back to the gym. And she came back to the gym and I got my stuff done. And then when I was about to leave, Mimi wanted to play in the creche. And it was such a wholesome moment where it was me and D-Wags, and he was just talking. He's like, oh, I'm going to go in the other office. And then Brea came out into the creche and she started playing with Mimi. And what we were doing is I was showing Mimi how to make a paper airplane.
Can make a paper
airplane. And then the next thing I knew, Brea didn't know how to paper airplane. So
obviously. That's what we do at Reborn.
So I'm making a paper airplane whilst I'm telling Brea how to make a paper airplane. And D-Wags was meant to work in the office, but he wanted to come out and hang out in the creche. So he came out and sat on one of the little baby chairs. And Mimi was then drawing on one of the airplanes that we made. And Mimi and I always sing. It's like we always put music on. We always got music on in the background. Most of the time, Mimi's dancing as well. But we put on our current favorite song, which is Save Me by Jelly Roll. And we're playing that song while me and Mimi are singing. Brea's making a paper airplane. There's Mimi coloring in, and then there's Wags over there doing his work for the day, and everyone's just in this wholesome moment singing this song. And I was like, this is such a nice moment, and she's so grateful to be in such a wholesome environment, like on a random Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know what it was. It was one of those moments where you just like this, like I said it, I go, guys, this is a really wholesome moment. We all kind of went, yeah, it was really nice.
That's beautiful.
It was.
Well done.
Mimi's adorable.
She really is.
She makes everything fun.
I remember a grateful gratitude moment that I had when we had Zadie, my youngest, was I think about 2 years old, and we were having like a rough week because she was sick, right? And when a baby's sick and they're crying throughout the night and you don't get enough sleep, it's horrific. And then crying and settling would wake up one of the other kids. Anyway, we're on that roller coaster. All the parents out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Is that microphone all right that I just bumped? We're good. All right, play on. And the baby was crying, and it was like the worst thing in the world around, like far out, like this is so tough. How hard is it having kids that are this young? And I had this moment where I then thought back to about 7 or 8 years earlier than that, when I just got married to my darling wife, Danny. All I wanted in life was to be a dad and to have kids. And it was like, this is all I've ever wanted. And I'm complaining because my kids are waking me up. And we were one of the very lucky couples who were able to fall pregnant and have kids quite easily. And I thought, how many people out there can't have kids or can have kids but struggle, go through a lot? Like we see it a lot of people in the gym, heartbreakingly, Trav, and a lot of our friends have gone through it. And I was like, what on earth am I complaining about?
Yeah.
I could get 2 or 3 hours sleep and still be so happy because of what I've got, not because of the lack of sleep I'm getting, because of the things that I've got. And this is all I wanted in my life. And I was like, it's amazing how it flips your perspective. Yeah. And you're like, I'm so thankful that I've got a baby that's crying right now.
2 points I want to touch on there. Both of ours vastly different. Both of them cost zero money. No one spent a cent, right? It's just being grateful for what you got right in front of you. The second thing
you get 2 points.
Being grateful for the things that you ask for, even if they are even if it's in a negative time. You and I have shared this moment over the last 3 weeks where we're like, fuck, it's tough, but how good is that we're in this position? We're having these problems because this is the position we wanted to be in.
I was going to bring that up. We had that moment. I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So we're having to have, we don't need to go into specifics, but we're having to have some tough conversations based on the second reborn that has been opened. And we'd had a big chat about it. Me, you and D-Wags were sitting in here, and I sat back and said, let's be grateful for us having the problems that we were begging for 2 years ago. And it's exactly what happened. If you'd rewound 2 years, we would have been begging to be in the situation that we are right now. And we're here. So let's be grateful for the challenges. Don't see challenges in your life as a negative, because they're a positive for you to get to where you want to be.
There's always a silver lining.
Always is a silver lining. All right. So, Travis, what is something that you took for granted until it was gone?
Oh, Pat.
Again, I can go first if you want a bit of time to think about it.
Nah.
Far out, you're quick.
Yeah,
I didn't prep him for any of these, by the way.
Mine was Chloe.
Okay.
So when I lost Chloe, that was like, fuck, I took that for granted. And that was a rough time. That was a really rough time.
So when you guys
when
split up, because she is still with us.
She's with me now. Sorry,
sorry, she's alive. Yeah, it's okay.
No, so back in 2016, I went through that when I lost everything. I lost my factory. I lost my business partner. I lost all my members. I lost Chloe. That was that. But I took her for granted in that situation. And I was like, fuck me. If I could take, if of all my like horrible things that I did, I wish that I could turn that back and change that. That's the one thing that I wish I could turn back and go, fuck, I wish I had that time.
But silver lining, what you've done since because of those feelings.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but I think if I didn't go through that as well, I don't think we end up back together. Like I don't think we end up where we are now either. So it's like I almost had to realize what I'd lost to then be able to realize what I had. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And how many people out there listening, and maybe you and I, have things in our life that it's like you don't know how good you've got it till it's gone. We've probably got those right now.
Tracy Chapman. Oh, no, you don't see to go, and you don't know what it's got till it's gone.
Great song. And well done. Well done. You nailed that.
I think it's Tracy. I don't think it's Tracy Chapman. I think I lied. But anyways.
My thing that I took for granted until it was gone was my eldest son, Cooper.
Adorable.
Having him on my shoulders.
Yeah.
When we would used to go out, he would get so lazy and old heavy legs, and he never wanted to walk. And he said, "Daddy, I want to go on your shoulders." And I always used to roll my eyes. And I'm like, far out, come on. And it was uncomfortable for me. It's safe to say the last time he's ever been on my shoulders has happened. He doesn't ask for it anymore. And there's been times when I've asked him, do you want to go on daddy's shoulders? And he's like, no, I'm 10. Like,
Do it when we get home this hour, because I want to do it to Jet as well. Grab and put him on.
you know, the funny thing, Mason's like 5 kilos heavier than my 8-year-old son. And I'll like test it. And I'm like, oh, I don't think any of my boys are ever going to be on my shoulders again. I go, Mason, do you want to get on my shoulders? He's like, yeah. And I put him on my shoulders. I'm like, shit, I don't want this anymore. Whereas Cooper would be sweet because he's lighter. Anyway, so that's one thing that I took for granted. And it's now gone.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit sad.
So polar opposite.
But that rolls into my next question. I'm going to go first on this, Trav, is one tip from each of us for everyone listening out there for how to practice gratitude. Because it's very easy to talk about gratitude. It's not as easy to just be grateful, right? Yeah. And my tip is, and I got this from Alex Hormozy, I got a lot from him actually, is treat everything like it's the last opportunity you get to do that. So having a kid on your shoulder is a perfect example. An example that I like to think about is when I'm ready for bed and it's like 7:30 to 8 p.m., I'm ready for bed. I'm a much more energetic, happy person at 4 a.m. than I am at 8 p.m. And we've finished dinner, we're cleaning up, I've brushed my teeth, and then I've got to brush Zadie's teeth, my 6-year-old daughter. And it's a grind. And I roll my eyes and go, far out, I've got to brush my daughter's teeth because she can't really do it well enough herself. And as I'm brushing her teeth, I'm like, I just want to be in bed right now. There's going to be a day when it's the last time I ever brush Zadie's teeth. I don't know when it is. It's coming soon, to be honest. So now when I'm about to brush my daughter's teeth, I picture it and I tell myself, this could be the last time you ever get to brush your daughter's teeth. And then I look at that sweet little face and all of a sudden, I can't wait to do it.
Mine's giving me an extension of that, and it's your words. So I'm saying this as from my tip. This is a tip that Pat's given me, and he also has always said that line where this could be the last time, and this is the extension of it. So let's stay on the kids theme. Your kid, you're tired. We're tired. We're very tired. It's 7:30.
Our kids aren't tired.
They're not tired.
We are.
But it's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and Miami says to me, Dad, can you read me a book? And you say, and in your head, you're like, oh, I want to go to bed. I don't want to have to read this book. But you got to switch it and change that line to, I get to read her a book. And I think that's the biggest thing the biggest lesson you've given me as a parent is like flipping those moments. Like I did not want to go to football training yesterday afternoon and coach the boys. And I was like, I'm so tired. I've had a tough day. You and I were drained. And then as I got in the car, I remember like Ace jumped in. He was so excited. And I went, I get to train my son this Arvo.
How many people would beg for that opportunity?
Yeah. Yeah. So switching that from I have to do this to I get to do this. That's my tip, but it's your tip. You've taught me that, so I appreciate you.
You know what? It's a fantastic reminder. I can't remember the last time I've thought that. So thank you for reminding me back in. All right. Now we're going to go through why gratitude changes your life. So Trav, why do you think it is so important for people to be grateful?
Because it's a mindset shift, right? It's like there's two ways to look at life, and it's either like everything's happening to me or everything's happening for me. If you believe everything's happening for you, then you're grateful for everything that's happening. Like even the bad things, like we were talking about the other day, then your whole life turns positive, and it's a mental shift. So I think if you can look for reasons to be grateful rather than looking for why, poor me, it changes everything.
I think one of the big reasons why gratitude can change your life is how it improves the relationships in your life. And I'm going to give 2 quick examples. When I come home from work and I've had a big day and I'm tired and my wife has cooked dinner, I mean, easy way to my heart, food. I do love eating.
Yeah, you're a pig.
I go out of my way, partly for my wife, but partly to set the example for my kids, because the amount of times Danny will slave away in the kitchen for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, cook an amazing meal, put it on a plate, put it on the table, and then the kids sit down and go, oh, yuck, I don't want to eat this. And I see a heart break. Oh. And whenever I come home, no matter what it is or what it tastes like, my wife is a very good cook. So that sounded like I was going to be shit, but it's outstanding. Cook. I sit down and I say, this is an amazing meal. I am so thankful. And I'll get up and get her up and just give her a big hug and hold her for about 5 seconds. And I'm like, thank you so much for this amazing dinner. And the relationship between my wife and I goes through the roof from 5 seconds of something that I actually do believe. I'm not putting it on. And then I see the way my kids then look at me and my wife. And then all of a sudden I see some like sheepish faces of like, oh, thanks, mummy. It's actually really nice. And it's like they see the example and they kind of, instead of you telling them to be more grateful, show them that you're more grateful.
Moo eats everything though, right?
Yeah, but he's got a good sook in him.
Yeah, good on him.
He's got a good sook. And then, my other example is, in terms of how it improves relationships, the boys at the gym, right? So there's a group of boys that train at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. every day of the week. And there's often sessions like on a Wednesday at 4 a.m. where you know how much it's going to hurt. And you know that you often drag your ass in here. You haven't had much sleep. You're not very energetic. You know what's coming, how much it's going to hurt. I go out of my way every single day to show excitement and happiness individually and say hello to every single one of the boys when I'll come in. And it's amazing how much that makes that relationship bloom.
And it's infectious.
It's infectious because if whatever you are showing outwardly, you get in return inwardly. Mickey Morris is a perfect example.
Yeah.
He is always so excited to see you and you can't help but be excited to see him back.
Yeah.
And how much more happiness is in his life just because of that small action that he takes every day.
Enthusiasm and gratitude is infectious too. Like we were saying this the other day when we were in the locker room. I won't say exactly what we were saying in the locker room because it's not PG.
No.
There was
appropriate.
4 boys were in there, and you know what the general chat is in those locker rooms. It's very enthusiastic, just to say the least, but we're very appreciative to see the boys. This was going on, and there's 2 members that are reasonably new. Big Bill.
Oh.
Great guy.
Blokes, one of the best blokes.
One of the best blokes. And Ben Robson.
Robbo.
They jumped in. Robbo. That was so Aussie. Love that from you. I was speaking to Davey Holland and I was just giving him just a...
gassing him up.
You know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need to say, but
and you know what? Most people listening know.
Yeah, they
but we don't have to say it.
Darren Grohl's also getting a gas up from me. I'm telling the boy exactly what I feel like. Then you get Big Bill and you get Robbo. They jump straight on the back of it, right? And that is like, they've only been here recently, but I said to the boys, how good is it like we're in this environment where it's it's normal to have these conversations, but we're just gassing each other up and everyone's just like, we're about to start our day and everyone's just going like, you guys have the best day ever because of the absolute garbage that we just spoke to each other, but it was nothing but love and enthusiasm.
I love that.
Grateful.
That's awesome. Now, Trav, I want to go to, I think this is going to spark a bit of debate and I want to see where you sit on this. So it's about gratitude, but then also ambition. Because gratitude is talking about what you've got, right?
Yeah.
You're a very ambitious person.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this.
What can actually strengthen your resolve into you actually performing better is looking at what you don't have, is ignoring the advice that we said before and where you want to get to and not resting on your laurels. So do you think you perform better when you're grateful or when you're hungry and chasing?
It's a balance, bro.
Yeah.
It's a hard balance because I'm hungry and chasing more than I'm grateful, if I'm completely honest. And more often than not, I'm looking ahead. That's part of my role. It's my job description, right? Vision. But what I often have to do, and it's often done by you, is pull myself back to present and be grateful for what we've got. Whether like even just the comments that we had this week of like, oh, we asked for this. Like, did we want to be? So it is that juggle, Patty. And it's like you're looking forward and you're chasing. And then you've every now and then got to have those moments where like with my dad, I had a really humbling moment with my dad when we were at the Christmas party, like looking and reflecting on those moments. But then I'm quick to move to the next thing as well, but constantly having a bit of to and fro.
Is it fair to say that you can kind of split those two things in your life? I was just thinking as you were talking then, being hungry and ambitious in terms of business or in terms of your professional life, but most of the things that we spoke about in terms of being grateful had nothing to do with business. I mean,
Yeah.
that one that when we
Yeah,
were
we
talking
talked
about the second franchise, but it's mainly our wife, our kids, and our mates, the personal relationships that we've got.
Yeah.
To be honest, we could be grateful for those three things in the same way that we were now, even if the business was going under, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I asked you the question and then you gave me the answer
How
without
good.
saying it. Well done. They can
Grateful.
both exist. Oh, you're grateful, are you? Well done. All right. Now, tell me, Travis, what is a moment that's humbled you
Oh.
in the past? Let's just go with the recent one because there's a few, right?
Oh, yeah. What's humbled me? That's a hard one, Paddy. Because like when you get humbled, like it's just like a lesson, right? Like I don't know. That's a good question, Patrick. I actually can't think of anything right now.
Well, let's move on to another question because I've got one I'm going to go through here. Now you can't use Chloe because you've already used Chloe as an example. Who was a person that you didn't appreciate enough at the time? I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
My wife. Not that I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I feel like doesn't get the appreciation that she deserves. It's funny sometimes at times like this, when you are digging deep into these topics, it makes you sit back and go, shit, maybe I haven't been appreciating her enough. I hear of like marriages breaking down all the time, right? And I've got mates that have gone through it. I've got family that has gone through it. And you just go, it sounds like a horrible experience. And then you sit back and go, well, there's no question that I'm ever going to have a marriage breakdown. Why am I not more grateful for that? And the things that my wife does for myself and my family, you go, I've got to tell her how grateful I am. So I'm going to finish this podcast and I'm going to send her a text telling her how grateful I am for her. And for
I reckon
everything
old
she does.
listeners should do something like that too.
Oh, yeah.
I know who mine are. It's my parents. And it's not when I was younger, I was always appreciative. It's probably more recently that I'm not appreciative of my parents because I'm at that age with my parents where I try to give them as little amount of
headache.
Yeah. And but that can also come across as like being rude or not rude, distant. Distance the word. So I think I've got to show more appreciation just for my parents right now and like how much they love me. Like how cute's my mom every time she comes into class for a class here. She now has a rule. I don't know when it started, but she just all the time just pops up at my door. And I could be having a Zoom or a Teams meeting.
She's so cute.
It doesn't matter. And she'll just open the door. She'll be like, hello. I'm like, I'm doing something. That's okay. And just whatever I'm doing, I'm like, okay, mom. But yeah, probably show more appreciation for my parents.
I'm with you on that. It's funny you mentioned that. I remember Dykesy, good mentor of mine and ours, Adam Dykes, when I was working underneath him and we were speaking about personal stuff, and he said, have you told your parents lately how much you love them and how grateful you are for them? And at the time I was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, when's the last time you said it? And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I could not tell you the last time I told my parents that I love them and how much I appreciate them. And he goes, do me a favor, Pat, today, send your mum and dad separately each a message telling them how grateful you are for them and how much you love them. And he said, I can guarantee it would make their day. And then I'm looking at the time, Dykesy was a father of 3 sons between like 18 and 22. And I was like, he's right. That is going to make their absolute day. And I sent him a text straight away and got like a massive one back from mum, like about how much she loves and appreciates me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure like dad gave me a thumbs up.
I'm thinking about my boy over there right now who would love anything more to speak to his mum. You know, and that's Farmer New. He lost his mum tragically a few years back. But yeah, I saw you did a post today about it as well, and you still think about it every day. So.
I reckon once a week I see a post from you, New, and honestly, and it makes me feel grateful for the fact that I've still got my mum and dad, and I can still hug them. Yeah.
So appreciate you, bro.
God, I wish we had a microphone in front of you right now, Farmer New.
We need to get you in front of the mic, bro. You're wasted behind he needs to be in front of the camera.
I've got another gratitude example.
Yep.
It happened last week. Dan Kritzler. So Dan was one of our silver members, which is our senior strength program. And he had an accident where the pin wasn't properly in on the bench that he was on, and he had a pair of weights in his hand, and he went to lay down on the bench, and the bench fell, and he hit his nose on a bar and broke his nose. And he was getting some tingling feelings in his hands and feet. So it was pretty serious. Called an ambulance. I was away at the time, but Trav sorted it all out along with
Jenny
Sarah.
Carr sorted it out.
Yeah,
by the way.
right.
Shout out to Jenny Carr. What a freak.
So Dan got an ambulance, went to hospital, and they were a bit worried about his spinal cord, given that he had tingling. And he'd played rugby for about 30 years, Dan. And they found that his vertebra in his neck and his spinal cord were okay, but it was a bit of a warning sign. Like, because they did all these scans, they were like, oh, this is quite unstable. And Dan was like one accident away from potentially being a paraplegic. Like his spinal cord was ready to be severed. And he had to then go in for an operation, which he went in 2 days ago. By the way, he just messaged before saying he's just been released from hospital and he's all good. So he went in and got his vertebra fused to essentially cover the risk of a potential catastrophic injury. He had a bad injury last week, right? And he then had to get surgery because of it. Spoken to him 3 times since. All he has spoken about on each of those 3 occasions is how grateful he is for this picking up his potential, catastrophic moment later, but also for the people that were around him at the time, and you're one of them, Trav, into how well that situation was managed. It's like you've been dealt a shit hand, but the positives that are coming out of that are way outweighing the negatives. Yeah. So for a guy to hurt himself at the gym and then have to go and get surgery as a result, all he has spewed out is gratitude.
Yeah, love that for him.
That's
love
beautiful.
that moment. I got goosebumps when you told me that. Was that last week or this week?
This week. Yeah.
It's crazy. Everything happens for a reason.
And he's messaged all of the group that was there, like individually, tell them how grateful for them he is.
It was the worst group but best group for it to happen to. Right. Your mum was, I said it before, but she was terrific. Nurse
Jenny Carr.
Yeah, she had the place on lock.
All right, I've got a line that I'm going to finish this off with to close it out. The life you want might already be the life you're living. You're just not seeing it.
Oof. Well done, Patrick. Look in the mirror, guys, and then send that message to someone that you want to say that you love them and that you appreciate them.
Well done.
Grateful.
What a wholesome podcast.